Hello, Meow. I'm Master Tofu Flower and welcome to my crafting channel. I will keep posting videos, so please subscribe and turn on your notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. In this tutorial, I will show you the process of making a Tame Nuri pen. The process of Tame Nuri has fewer steps than many Urushi painting techniques. However, it is very skill dependent. Few years of Urushi painting experience is often needed. Don't be disappointed if you cannot get it right in the first few tries. As in my previous Lesson 6 Tame Nuri video, tame can be translated into accumulation of fluid, condensation, dripping, and dropping. Nuri simply means painting. This technique is to give the lacquerware the look of a lake. There are many different schools of Tame Nuri. They have the same principle, which is to apply a thick layer runny translucent urushi as the top coat, usually on a colored layer. As the runny urushi flows, it will accumulate or dissipate according to the shape of the substrate. It results in different thickness of urushi paint. Typically, the inner corner causes the paint to accumulate. Hence, the thicker the paint layer, the darker the color of the top coat. On the other hand, the outer corner causes the paint to dissipate, resulting in a lighter color. Good control of thickness and evenness of the paint is the key for Tame Nuri. Also, the ability of painting a dust-free top coat is important because oversanding can make the Tame Nuri unnatural. You must be familiar with all the skills demonstrated in my Lesson 1 to 5 and Tutorial 1 to 4 before you start. Don't run before you can walk. Okay, let's get started. For this project, you will need a pair of gloves and a mask for your safety, a furo that we made in Lesson 2. Set it at 20 degrees Celsius and 70% humidity. Paintbrush and spatula, lint-free cloth, solvent such as camphor oil, a pair of scissors, Shi Yoshino paper, raw urushi. You may use Kijomi, translucent urushi. You may use shuai and MR-S Sukejiyou sugurome. Black urushi. You may use Jiyou tate. Colored Urushi concentrated vermilion Urushi that we made in Lesson 5. Washing up liquid, water, vegetable oil, and roiro-migaki powder. Sandpaper, 1 each for 1,500 grit, 3,000 grit, 6,000 grit, and 8,000 grit. Yellow Tonoko powder, and a pen prepared with honji primer. You may check Tutorial 3. Remember to wear your gloves and keep the room well ventilated. Stay safe, meow! I'm doing a very dark red Aka Tame Nuri pen here. It has red Urushi middle coat with dark brown translucent top coat. You may use different colors. Step 1. As always, our Tame Nuri pen starts with a pen prepared with honji primer. My servant reconstructs the vermilion urushi by mixing 2 parts of concentrated vermilion urushi with 1 part of shuai or Kijomi urushi. Filter the urushi with 4 layers of Shi Yoshino paper and mix it well. Paint the vermilion urushi evenly on the pen. Then, cure it in a 20 degrees Celsius and 70% humidity furo for 2 weeks. Step 2. Lightly sand the pen with 1000 grit sandpaper. The pen should be touch smooth. Wash it with washing up liquid and water. Unfortunately, there was some issue with the filming, so I cannot show you the sanding process. Step 3. Repeat step 1 and 2. Paint another layer of vermilion urushi on the pen. Cure it in a 20 degrees Celsius and 70% humidity furo for 2 weeks. Then sand it with 1000 grit sandpaper until it is touch smooth. Wash it with washing up liquid and water. This is not a modern Negoro Nuri style pen. If you sand through the red layer and start to see the black layer, you need to repeat this step. Again, my servant failed to film the sanding process. Please avoid sanding the outer corner if possible, because the layer of colored urushi is thin in this area. Also, a smooth unsanded corner helps the urushi to dissipate, resulting in stronger color contrast. Step 4. This is the crucial step for Tame Nuri. My servant mixes 1 part of glossy black urushi, Jiyou tate with 1 part of MR-S Sukejiyou sugurome. The MR-S Sukejiyou sugurome urushi is a new generation of urushi, made by 3 roll mill method. It has faster curing rate, and the paint is more translucent, glossier, and more durable than the ordinary urushi. It is less viscous and flows better. These properties make it perfect for the Tame Nuri. We mix it with black urushi because I like to make a very dark aka Tame Nuri pen. If you like a lighter color, do not mix it with black urushi. Alternatively, you can use shuai, Kijomi, black urushi, or other translucent urushi for the top coat. Filter the mixture with 4 layers of Shi Yoshino paper. Then mix it well with roughly equal volume of solvent. We are using Camphor here. See, it is very runny. Please be aware that both the urushi and the solvent can affect the flow of urushi, and the look of the finished product may be very different. Petroleum is the most used for Tame Nuri, but my forgetful servant lost the bottle. Meow. Different schools have their unique way to prepare the translucent urushi paint, and they keep that as a secret. You can experiment on different solvents such as camphor, petroleum, turpentine, and others. Let me know the result. Evenly apply a thick layer of urushi on the pan. It should be thick enough for the paint to flow and pool, but do not paint too thick, or it may wrinkle or drip. Master flower handy tips. Remember, solvents evaporate. Hence, the working time of the translucent urushi mix is short. Apply the translucent urushi mix quickly within 10 minutes and don't touch the pan again. After the solvent evaporates, the urushi will become more viscous and difficult to flow. Also, using a very soft brush can help the application of the thick layer of runny urushi. We are using a weasel and horsehair damibake brush made specifically for Tame Nuri. Many crafters use tamage, which means cat hair damibake, but I'm against it for an obvious reason. Meow. Put it in a furo. Leave the door slightly opened for 2 hours so solvent can escape while keeping dust out. Then, cure the urushi in a 20 degrees Celsius and 70% humidity furo for 1 week. Step 5. Sand the pan lightly with 3000 and 6000 grit sandpaper. Alternatively, you may use suruga charcoal. You only need to sand it to touch smooth. Remember, the color variation of Tame Nuri is caused by the variation of the thickness of the paint. It will lose the beautiful color variation if you sand it too evenly. Do not oversand, meow. Again, avoid sanding the corner. Step 6. This is an alternative step. Since the contrast of this pen is too sharp, we have decided to use a second layer to reduce it. Most Tame Nuri does not have a second translucent layer. Filter the MR-S Sukejiyou sugurome and paint a thin layer on the pen without mixing it with the solvent, and paint it evenly on the pen. Then, cure the urushi in a 20 degrees Celsius and 70% humidity furo for 1 week. Step 7. Again, sand the pen lightly with 3000 and 6000 grit sandpaper, then wash it with washing up liquid and water. Now, we will start the uwazuri process, which is a cycle of rubbing a thin layer of raw urushi on the pen, wiping off the excess, curing it, polishing the pen with different grades of polishing powder, and repeat the whole cycle for 3 times or more. Step 8. Rub on a thin layer of Kijomi urushi on the pen. Wait for 10 minutes and wipe off the excess. Cure it in a 20 degrees Celsius and 70% humidity Furo for 3 days. And polish it with a yellow Tonoko powder and vegetable oil mixture. Wash the pen with washing up liquid and water. Step 9. Repeat Step 8. But use 8000 grit sandpaper and roiro-migaki powder instead of yellow Tonoko powder. Wash it with washing up liquid and water. Step 10. Finally, repeat Step 9 once more. But only use roiro-migaki powder to polish. Wash it with washing up liquid and water. Your Tame Nuri pen is ready! Meow! I love the glossiness and the depth. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share my video to your friends. To celebrate that we have reached 500 subscribers, we have a giveaway. This pen is made using the techniques taught in my previous videos. Next time, I'll talk about kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery. Stay tuned!